It's hopeful right now because there are people getting vaccinated and we're getting, well, multiple times a week updates from IDPH as to how many more new people are vaccinated in each county. I've been harvesting all of that data and I keep it in a spreadsheet so people can look at their own county and see how many new people, how many new doses, because with these mRNA vaccines, you need 2 doses separated either by 21 or 28 days. And it feels good knowing that our healthcare providers and our elderly and care facilities are getting vaccinated. That's going to pull down the death rate a lot because especially elderly people are at a much higher risk just due to the fact that they're older, have more underlying conditions. But as we get more and more Iowans that are vaccinated, hopefully with the new administration, we're going to roll out vaccines a lot faster and a much more organized fashion based on what I know from the Biden prep team. We get more people vaccinated. That means there are fewer people out and about or even in our houses that are susceptible. And that means the virus can't find people to jump to as easily. That means we'll hopefully by summer, we'll see a major pullback in the number of infections. I think it's going to take at least a few months because we're still in 1A here, at least in Iowa. If we're rolling out vaccines to teachers, that's, again, it's one high risk group that is safer so that our kids can stay in school. But if our teachers are protected and kids suffer far less when they get COVID-19. But again, if our teachers are protected, that's fewer people that can get it, few people that can transmit it. Our schools are safer, our families are safer. There's a lot of like relief just knowing that we have the vaccine, both Pfizer and Moderna, we have both of those available and we're getting them into people. It's good. And also we've seen positivity rates declining across the state. The majority of counties are seeing a pullback. That's wonderful, especially meaning people are doing what they need to do to keep themselves safe. When I think about the new variant, specifically the UK variant, which is referred to as B.1.1.7, there's higher transmissibility associated with it. And there's also higher viral load, which means it takes less time. If you're a little bit less stringent on making sure your mask is covering your face and you're wearing a face shield, you may be at greater risk of contracting the virus. And if we're all getting everything under control now with an, I guess, a quote unquote easier strain, by the time that that B.1.1.7 variant slowly makes its way to the middle of the country, just like the original variant did, it likely won't cause as many problems. And we pair that with the vaccination, there'll be fewer people. Hopefully by the time it does make it to the center of the country, we won't have as many people who will be as susceptible as we would say have back in October when we were in the middle of the really bad spike.
I mean, it's hopeful. It's hopeful.
More people are getting vaccinated, more people are safe. Yeah. Yes, we've got these other variants, but if we can get everybody aiming in the right direction, doesn't matter what your political bent is, if we're all aimed towards safety and getting vaccinated and making sure especially our highest risk populations, patient facing as well as elderly and people with high risk conditions, if we all focus on making sure all of us are safe, everybody else gets safe at the same time. The more options we have for vaccinating ourselves safely, the better it's going to be. And I think one of the things, and I've seen this here and there on the internet, people are really worried that they can get infected with COVID-19 from these vaccines. And that's absolutely not the case because these vaccines just have a teeny weeny piece so that your body can make the spike protein. And then your own body says to your own body, hey, let's build immunity to this so that when or if you do ever get actually exposed, your body will already know that teeny weeny protein and say, holy buckets, let's go mount a defense, protect this person. And with these vaccines, we know that for efficacy, it decreases severity of infection. And in a lot of instances, it completely protects you so that you don't even develop symptoms. We don't know about transmission yet, but that's a function of time. We'll know whether or not it slows transmission. But optimistically, it's looking like Israel, because they vaccinated such a high percentage of their population really, really quickly, they're starting to see decreases in infection. And that's great because pairing that up, that might indicate, and again, we need researchers to do all of that work, and they are doing that work, but to take a look at that and see if there is a decrease in transmission, or if it's just because it's keeping more people from getting it, that's great too. there's a lot of hope here. I've tried to be hopeful the whole time because we have to look forward to where things are better
Yeah,
in order to get through.
yeah. I want to give you a hug.
After the pandemic, it's happening. I'm gonna hug you and your wife. We're gonna have like a big group hug in a park.
I
I mean,
know,
it's
I know.
yeah. But
There's going to be so much crying going on, you
oh
know.
God. Oh yeah. But that's
Um,
the thing. Like, we're gonna get to the other side of this and we're all gonna be so relieved. We have to look forward and understand that getting everybody vaccinated it's a process. It's gonna take time. But thinking, well, because I can't get vaccinated, oh my God, the world is like, I can't get vaccinated at this time. Like the sky is falling down. It's not that bad. Somebody who's out and about and putting themselves at risk, they need it more than me right now. I'll get mine when I get mine. And same goes for my husband, our son, my mother. But there are other people that need them far more than I do. And I know they'll get to me eventually because all of these pharmaceutical companies, they're producing more vaccines. There will be more doses. We have to kind of temper a little bit for our own personal needs, but be happy and thrilled and jazzed that other people are getting their doses. And there are very few bad side effects. And thus far, the majority of people who've had some kind of negative reaction, they've gotten treated and they're fine. Now they're safe. I want as many Iowans to understand that sure, there's some negative side effects, but the positive benefits are so much greater. That means all of us are safe. That means that we can gather again, go to church, go to a backyard barbecue, not wear a mask at some point in our lives. That's a good thing. If that means we feel a little icky for a few days, I am 150% on board with feeling a little, yeah, exactly. 150% on board feeling a little icky for a few days to be able to take my son to a park. Like these little things I look forward to.
before we started, you were saying something about the CDC and what's changing, what's going on there.
Yeah. So what we're going to likely see in the CDC is it's a shift in messaging from just putting the basic science out, but not really getting in the way of the presidency or of specifically Trump's administration. Biden's administration is planning on making science a big push, getting the data out, but also talking with people. And instead of speaking in a more scientific way, trying to make it so that everyday people understand so that we can all stay safe and informed, as well as approach the world in a much more appreciative manner, caring about people. And I think that that's the important thing. Compassion and science and data and understanding that we may not know everything right now, but that doesn't mean we don't know a lot. That's what we're going to have going forward. And it's what we should have had from the outset. But unfortunately, there was a lot of politics that got mishmashed with public health. A lot of us in public health advocacy will be doing that work going forward, trying to build those bridges again so that once we get through the pandemic, things like cancer, heart attack, people aren't going to be thinking, well, IDPH really hurt us, or they didn't do what they needed to do. It's going to be our job to rebuild those bridges so that public health in general, reaching out to every health issue, will have that and we won't be having people not trust. The CDC is going to be doing its utmost to make sure all of us are safe and communicate with every American in a way that we can all understand instead of just putting stuff out there and not having anything but a press release. That hasn't been particularly helpful. I'm really optimistic.
Really?
Especially poignant today because we passed the 400,000 Americans dead from COVID-19 today. And we all deserve to have the same personhood and rights. All of us, just being people in the world. Once we get a lot of data, like millions of Americans are vaccinated and we're vaccinating, there's going to be a lot of Americans who'll say, I feel comfortable now doing this.
Yeah.
Let's go. And the doses will be there, easily accessible, like your nearest Walgreens or CVS or whatever. And it'll be good. I'm looking forward to like 2025 when like the world's totally super normal again and people don't really even like we're starting to forget that this happened and we're just going about our normal lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to normalcy, and it's a ways away. I get that, but a girl can dream.
You can see it on the horizon.
I can.
Yeah.
It's out there, but it's there. I think the thing we all need to remember is this is the time to make sure your mitigation measures are on point. Put your mask on, have it cover your nose and mouth, pair it with a face shield, stay home as much as you can, play a lot of Boggle, Scrabble, watch Netflix, and wait until it's your turn to get vaccinated. And then you want to wait until at least 2 weeks after your second dose, but keep wearing your mask. But then you can start to think about, maybe going somewhere, go for a walk at your local park. You don't have to be quite so scared or quite so concerned that you won't be safe, because by that point, your body will have seroconverted, you'll be building T cells. Life can begin to feel safer. Not perfect, not normal, not, pre-pandemic, but a lot safer, a lot better. We'll get there. It's going to take a little bit, but we will get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Stay safe.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.